know what? I have to say, for once, I'm actually having a good day. Not just a good day, but for the first time in 15 years, since even before my depression even started, I had like the best fucking day of my life. I never get to say this. Never. Um, because today is August 21st, and as most people know, that today was the day that the solar eclipse came, or you were able to see it as long as you use protective eyewear. And I was worried because um, if you go online, they were sold out. If you go to the store, the sunglasses were sold out. By chance, and I pretty much was becoming extremely upset because I thought I was going to miss this eclipse, and I knew that if I was able to see this would actually help me want to move on in terms of want to motivate myself more with recovering from depression, so I can actually move to an actual new chapter of my life, if that's even remotely possible. I still don't know if that's even possible, because just yesterday I was crying literally for at least a half an hour because I felt like I don't have a future, but that's for another vlog. But by chance, several days ago, I was on Facebook, and I noticed that there was, like, you know how sometimes when you go on Facebook, they suggest a group that you should join, or they have events posted for you, kind of if you, just in case you might be interested. Well, that's what happened. I found out that Science Museum in Minnesota was having a solar eclipse viewing party type of thing. And the great thing about this is only the people that paid admissions were able to get sunglasses, or not sunglasses, but solar eclipse glasses. So it wasn't for just anybody to come in, take them, and leave. You had to pay admissions and stuff. And I was like, yes. But then, of course, I knew it, that there was going to be a storm coming, because it said. And you know what? I panicked because I'm going to have to do another vlog about why weather's starting to irritate me, but I want to focus on today. So I was worried that I won't be able to see it because there was a thunderstorm, and I literally prayed, please just let me have this one moment. Please let me have something to have a positive life moment that I can remember for the rest of my life, because all I have are bad things: suicide attempts, depression, people giving me hatred all the time, bad comments. Those are the memories I have. I don't have any positive appreciate the general meaning of life type of thing. That's what I really wanted to get out of this, and I thought that this could really seriously help me to look, not just in terms with depression, but I think that if I have more things to look forward to that can help me, and, help me not want to think about cutting my throat open with a piece of glass, which I've been thinking about doing. But, they're just thoughts to me now. I can't have many suicide thoughts these days, and I can fight them off better these days, but the point is, I still have these thoughts, and the only way to decrease them is to have something to look forward to. And, but, when I actually had 4 Monster energy drinks to keep me awake. And although I did fall asleep for like an hour, so I did wake up in time. I woke up to the sun shining through my window. I was like, yes, the clouds are breaking apart. So I actually went to the Science Museum, and I was just like, I'm going to do this. This is a huge social anxiety challenge that I need to pass. And The only thing that motivated me was this eclipse, because I had to see it. And I'm telling you, I panicked from the moment, like, there were hundreds of, people there, and that scared the shit out of me. But because the line was long, like, it was extremely long. Like, you know how you go to the airport and there's like several rows, like, you know, they have like a bar rope type thing, and you have to go walk through like 4 rows of them. It was that long. In fact, I think it took like almost 40 minutes, 40 minutes just to get to the register. So yeah, it was long. And I panicked. People were standing near me. They were looking at me, and when people look at me, I'm like, that's it. I need to come back to the apartment to hide myself, because when people look at me, they see me as disgusting. Well, I don't blame them personally, but it doesn't help matters. But I did it. I stayed in a fucking line surrounded by hundreds of people, and I went to the cashier and I got, actually I still have it. So I got this. Actually, a woman gave this to me while I was in line, because I'd never been to the Science Museum before, so she was showing me the fees and what, you know, kind of like what the Science Museum offers. And if you're a member, it's one price, if at all. As you can see, some things are free for them, and other members are, you know, have specific fees for admission. So I actually decided to go with this, the museum admission plus Omni Theater, because I didn't even know what an Omni Theater is. So this was an additional new experience for me. So I added more challenge to my challenge, basically. And unfortunately, before, there were so many people, there were so many lines, I got confused. An officer and, you know, other people were staring at me. Actually, I panicked. So I did leave. I'm not kidding. Before I went to the exhibits, I left the building to calm myself down, and I stayed outside for at least 10 minutes. I went to the side of the building. There was kind of like a balcony there, and you have this nice view of like the railroad tracks, the Mississippi River. I had to stay there for at least 10 minutes to calm me down, because seriously, it was just hundreds and hundreds of people there, and they kept coming in. And actually, by the time I calmed myself down and went back to the front entrance, the line was so long that it poured through the entryway, and whether you were waiting in line or not, no one could go in or out, because that's how the line stretched out through the entryway, the main entryway where you're supposed to go in and out. So I had a hard time. And this is the strangest thing. All these years I told myself I was disgusting, a piece of shit that needs to be put to death because I'm an abomination to the Lord Jesus Christ. And well, I still think I don't think I'm an abomination anymore, but I am. Look at my face, I'm ugly as fuck. But people are actually being nice to me. Like, what the fuck? Like, why is people being nice to me? Why are you doing this? Be cruel. Stab me through the chest or something. You know, that's something that I need in my life. I need to be stabbed so I can be put to death. But honestly, I'm not in that mood anymore. That's just what I was thinking at the time. Because I truly do panic when I'm around people, period. But, this guy who actually works at the museum was actually trying to separate people so I can actually get through. And it took took me a minute, and people were starting to pile up in front of me, but he came back, and he helped people kind of walk to the side so I can get through, because he already knew, he recognized me from having taken this thing off. I keep forgetting. I guess I was so excited. See, they give you, when you pay admissions, they give you this wristband. I have to put it on my wrist, as you can see. And so he even saw that, although he recognized me from being there earlier. So he's like, yeah, you already paid, so let's go on through. He was actually being nice to me. Like, I appreciate it, but it was weird, because I'm used to people giving me cruelty and hatred, like fag comments, screaming at me from their cars when I'm driving down the street. That's the hostility. That's just what I'm used to. So when people are being nice to me, I'm like, what the fuck? But anyway, moving on. So I started. It was so hard just to go through the exhibit because, not necessarily because of there being a lot of people and me continuing to get lost, because I'd never been there before and I didn't know where I was going. But I wanted to just get the sunglasses, because I noticed they didn't start selling not sunglasses, solar eclipse glasses, whatever. They didn't start selling until around 11:45, and I thought the eclipse wasn't going to start until 1. But it turns out that this was like a 2-hour thing. I thought it was 2 minutes. Like, you're going to see a small shadow and it's going to go away in 2 minutes. That's what I was expecting. I did not expect it for it to last for 2 hours. And so when I started seeing people with their sunglasses, I'm starting to scramble, trying to figure out, okay, where is it? And I had the courage to ask someone where she got hers. She told me she got it upstairs, and I looked up there, I couldn't find it. And then she also said there were some downstairs. She actually said it in one conversation. And to my surprise, she wasn't afraid of me or disgusted with me, which kind of questions my beliefs of myself. Like, am I really that disgusting to people? I mean, yeah, I'm not a lovable person. I'm meant to be alone for the rest of my life, but come on. Anyway, so I go outside and I asked the man if he had sunglasses, and of course he had them. Then he's like, well, I have them. Here's how many pairs do you want? I was just like, just one. And oh my God, I swear, this was like the best time of my life. He told me that this was the guy that told me. He said, oh no, that's just when the eclipse will be at its peak. Because I thought it didn't start till 1. He said, no, that's when it starts peaking. The eclipse is starting now. I'm like, really? So I got, I still have this too. So this is the sunglasses that we were handed out. And you know what? I'm going to keep this too. I know I'm not going to wear it because, I know the eclipse is not going to happen until I'm 39 years old. Assuming I live that long. But I'm cursed on this world, so probably will. But anyway, this is the glasses that were supplied to us. And I put them on, and I just see this yellow dot. And then he told me to, when you put on the glasses, look to the left, or look to the right, and you'll see like a black shadow. You can already see the moon's shadow covering the sun. And I was just like, oh my God, this is like the most beautiful thing. Oh, and get this. So I was just going to vlog about this, and then possibly write it in my journal, and then appreciate the memory. But I was lucky enough to actually record this eclipse, at least a part of it. What I did was I took the lens and I put the lens over the frame. You can't see nothing now. Like if I put it close to the frame. But that's what I did when I was outside. It was much brighter than it is now. And then I didn't look See, when I did this, I was actually, see what happened was first I did watch the eclipse for a while outside. Then I went back inside for whatever reason. Oh, I wanted to get food, but it didn't work out. But so I was inside at the window, and the way that I was angled, you have like this bar in the middle of the window that prevents me from seeing any sunlight being shined in my eyes at all. So doing this inside was so much easier and more. It actually was the safe way to do it inside. So I can angle the camera and my head so I don't see the sun or anything. Just put the sunglasses or sun eclipse glasses, whatever, over the camera, and then I took video of the actual eclipse. Yes. So now, not only can I have did I gained a lifetime memory today, but I actually was able to record some of it. What ended up happening though, I wanted to get something to eat, which was a big mistake, because the line was so long that it didn't move, at least for the first half hour. It didn't start moving until later. I probably waiting for almost 30-40 minutes in line alone. I probably moved almost a foot. That's how slow. I didn't even get food from up there because the lines were too long, and I tried twice to get food up there. And because I waited that long, unfortunately, the footage that I have is the only footage that I will have, because by the time I got back, the clouds were pretty much covering the sun. But despite that, it was even darker than it would be just on a normal cloudy day. So it was darker than usual. It wasn't just from a light cloud covering, because, we were still outside hoping to still see the eclipse, and it did peek out here and there for briefly, so I still have that moment where I saw a near total solar eclipse. It wasn't total, but it was almost there, and I will have that pictured in my memory for the rest of life. And if I forget, I can look at the footage, and although the eclipse footage that I have was only at the start of it, it can still help me remind me of the little extra stuff I saw at the end before. Ta-da! Total cloud coverage, and the matter of fact, it's raining. I'm just grateful that it didn't do this when the eclipse started, because, as a matter of fact, I wasn't the only person that did this. A lot of people were getting their cell phones, and then they would do the same thing I did. They would put as a filter, they would put this over the camera and then film the eclipse if they could. And I'm definitely posting my eclipse footage in a separate video. I don't have Windows Media anymore because I ended up I had to get a new laptop, and it's a Windows 10 thing, but I'm going to try to find a way to merge all three clips into one, so all three won't be separate. But I will post that on a later date. But and that's the thing. While I was here, a couple of people were talking to me. One lady was seeing if what I was doing in terms of trying to filter the camera with the glasses and taking video of it. She was wondering if that was a success, and I was like, yes, I'm actually getting something with this. And so she was like, oh, cool. I'm like, and then another lady was talking to me about, because the other lady was talking to me how disappointed she was, because now the sky is completely cloudy and shit, as if it doesn't storm enough already. I swear I would do a whole another vlog about why weather is more irritating me now more than ever. But I had a blast, and I went outside during the last moments of the eclipse before you couldn't see it at all, and people were just yelling every time the eclipse peeked back out from the clouds. Because there were some moments where the clouds moved out of the way and you could see the eclipse again, and every time that happened, people would scream and, in a cheerful way. That's gonna it was like to be a part of a natural cosmic event that I've been wanting to see, hoping it can, I don't know, I needed something, I needed a positive memory. I have nothing but negative memories. To the point where, okay, fine, if only bad things is going to happen to me, I might as well commit suicide, Although, to be honest with you, in terms of suicide, my passion is pretty much dying down faster by the day, which is unfortunate. I used to love the thought of taking my own life. I used to be passionate about this, because taking my life was what I wanted. It was what I was meant to do, But, and not only that, but after, of course, as I said earlier, I didn't just purchase the museum admissions. I went to the Omni Theater at 3 o'clock today. It was about an hour long. It was about this tribe, or not this tribe. I don't think. It was about this boy who was going out to sea for a couple of months to learn about coral, because his community is dependent on coral for food, and it was starting to run. They were starting to run out of coral due to people coming in and snatching them, and it was affecting the fish life. It was actually really good, and unfortunately, I sat at the edge, and this woman came by as people were coming in, because unfortunately for me, it was a sold out, performance thing. And so most people, it was pretty packed, to be honest with you. And I was already on the edge as it was. This lady tried to say, well, can you move down a few seats so I can move people in? I was like, I didn't answer, because I was like, well, I have social anxiety. I'm nervous enough, and now you're trying to push me towards people. I can't do it. So what I did was, if people wanted to go in the same aisle, I'll just move my legs over so they can walk by. I couldn't push myself to go any further than right next to the aisle, because I was around people all day today, and not only am I drained, but I'm terrified. And so, after I did that, and actually before I did that, finally I was able to get some food. When I went to like a snack bar on the main level, because, like I said, the upper floors was so long, you would have to wait over an hour just before, if not an hour and a half, just to get food. I couldn't do it. I'm sorry. I tried twice, and I couldn't do it. The second time I tried, the line wasn't even moving, so I had the best day of my life. Do you know what that means for someone who wants to kill himself? Well, honestly, not anymore, but I can say that I want to get over it. I think I'm more motivated to want to do something to get me out of it. I would do more depression walks. I really want to start going back on jogging again, because one of my goals is to, I would love to run a marathon, but there was an opportunity here and there, but I didn't do it because, I was too depressed and I'm out of shape, but I don't know. If I'm going to live, that means I got to put more effort into recovery, and right now I'm basically self-medicating, and yeah, the lady upstairs is, I don't know if you can hear her, but whatever. she's just being extremely loud as always. But anyway, I had a great day. I'm gonna go back out, get some snacks, and I'm taking the next few days off from depression walks because I am burned out. So as you can hear by observation, that I did succeed in my social anxiety challenge. I saw the solar eclipse. I went to the Omni Theater. I was in the Science Museum for quite a few hours, around hundreds and hundreds of people, and nearly that whole time I'm running to run. And I only left the building once. I did leave because, I was, being around people scares the fuck out of me. I didn't think I would be able to handle it. But I did it. And now I want to post this vlog on my YouTube, and I will post my my footage of the eclipse in another time.